Hey Grace, it's Pastor Maddie. I wanted to share a quick reflection for our Eastertide devotional today. Last night, our youth group met over Zoom and we talked about the classic movie Mulan. I think it's objectively my favorite Disney movie. And we had great conversation about some of the themes that we saw in the movie and how it might relate to our faith story. For those who maybe haven't seen Mulan, it's about a family who it lives in China, and there is a war that's broken out with the Huns, and so there's a draft, and Mulan's father, as the only male in the family, has to go off to war. But he's injured from the previous war, and so Mulan decides to cut her hair, take his armor, and go and fight in his place. But she's a woman, and so she has to disguise as a man, or she could die if she was found out. So it's a great movie. The movie songs are amazing. Definitely go watch it. But in the movie, we see this reverence for ancestors. So the very beginning scene, Mulan's father goes to an area in their backyard and prays to the ancestors to give Mulan strength and just to help her out when she goes and meets the matchmaker. And so we see this deep connection and appreciation for ancestors. And that's really unique to Asian culture and even some Latin American cultures as well. And while we as Christians and Western folk might not have the same understanding of our connection with ancestors, in our faith story, we have something called the communion of saints. And this is the understanding that there is this great cloud of witnesses of people who have gone before us, who have walked the journey of faith, and how they are still kind of walking with us in our own story in spirit. So we got to have a conversation last night at youth group where we talked about some of these great cloud of witnesses who might make up what this cloud is for us. And so we had 3 minutes to go and find something in our house that reminded us of one of our ancestors who maybe had passed on, somebody we had met, somebody we had maybe never met, and just talk about what that object is and what that relationship is. And it was really meaningful to just see the different family members and friends and church members who had shaped the lives of our youth. And so it was a really beautiful and sometimes sad and sometimes, very moving experience to just share that with one another. So I thought I would share what I brought. So you can see here is a little drawing. This is me when I was a baby. Well, I don't know, as a toddler. And it was drawn by my Aunt Meg, who is my maternal grandma's sister. And so Aunt Meg, I'd only met her a couple times because she lived in England, but it was just really wonderful to get to meet her a few times, also to see some of the similarities between her and my grandma, who was the main grandparent I really got to know growing up, who passed away when I was 13. And so this is a drawing that she made. She made one for me and one for my sister. And so it hangs in my house and is just a cool reminder of the gifts of my aunt, as well as just the connection that I have to her and to my mom's side. So anyways, I invite you in this reflection and for our devotional today to go walk around your house and see what items, what pictures, what relics, what photos might remind you of your great cloud of witnesses, of the ancestors who shaped you, who've walked with you in your own faith, in your own life, and even the people you haven't met who still shape us and shape how we've grown in our lives just through their stories. So anyways, with that, I invite you to pray with me as we reflect on our great cloud of witnesses. Dear God, we give you thanks for all of the people who we've both met and haven't met, all of the stories who have shaped our being. We know that there are so many people of faith who have walked with us on our faith journey, who are still walking with us on our journey, and who are shaping us into your children as you've created us. We ask that in the emotions of sadness and joy and remembrance of all of the communion of saints in our own lives, that you might console our hearts and remind us that telling stories is a beautiful way of remembering the people that we love and have lost. We love you, God, and we thank you. Amen.